have an issue with Miles Sanders saying nobody liked Jalen Hurts being benched.
Yeah, man, I got a huge issue with it. Okay. Number one, this isn't just this situation. This is in general. You can never speak in absolutes. You always got to be mindful of speaking in absolutes.
I'm with you.
Everybody loves this. Nobody liked that. Because when you say nobody, you're talking about every single body. You're including everyone and saying that nobody liked that decision. I don't think that is factual. But let me give y'all my biggest issue. Number one, I like Miles Sanders. I think he's a top 5 running back when he's healthy. I think he's a beast.
Here we go.
But this is a real thing. If you have an issue with benching Jalen Hurts, the question is why? Why would have to be because you don't think Nate Sudfeld gave the Eagles the best chance to win the game, correct? That's the only reason you would have an issue with benching Jalen Hurts at the moment in which they did. Well, Miles Sanders, don't you think you would have gave the Eagles a better chance of winning the game? Because, like, you miraculously end up on the injury report on Wednesday, then you're on it again on Thursday, then you're ruled out by Friday. But I ain't see you hurt against the Cowboys. I ain't see you hurt against the Cardinals. And when you had 100-plus yards against the Saints, I sure as heck didn't see you hurt. Now, I'm not going to blatantly and overtly question if you were 100%. I don't think anybody in the NFL is 100% at this time. But I'm just wondering, if the game had a little bit more meaning, I would assume that Miles Sanders, along with other Eagles players, would have been out there on the field, including Carson Wentz. So I hate saying nobody, number one, because don't speak in absolutes. But number two, don't complain about a problem if you're not helping the solution. Marcellus, I'm about to get on a pulpit. Don't complain about a problem if you ain't helping the solution. You want to know what I hate?
What you hate?
Acho, man, I'm just so out of shape. I'm trying to get back in shape. You working out? I haven't renewed my membership just yet. Man, Acho, I don't like the way that our country's going right now. What you doing to change it? I posted a black square once. Don't complain about a problem if you're not doing nothing for the solution. So if you gonna tell me you didn't like Jalen Hurts getting benched because it didn't give y'all the best chance to win or nobody liked it, well, what were you doing to help the Eagles win? Because you was on the sideline with Carson Wentz. That is my only problem with that take.
That's my dog. That's my co-host. Perfect take right there. Now, here's another perfect take. I hope I can nail it like you just did right here. I have no issue with Miles Sanders and what he said. I agree with Miles Sanders. This isn't something. This isn't nothing. This is everything. Because if you look at the statement, not only did he say we were confused, but also he said, I don't know who made this decision. Now, Miles Sanders that took the uniform off and put on the bulletproof vest said, come on. Like, if you say that, you've taken it 2 levels. One, the confusion element. The fact that even in this situation, Jalen Hurts said he knew that Nate Sudfeld would get some opportunities, but still looked that disappointed. Other players knew and other players didn't, to the point where it makes you scratch your head. Was this a situation creating confusion, creating controversy, like I've been saying for the past few days about this same topic? How about this for evidence that Jason Kelce confronts his coach in the game, during the game, about what's going on, what's this? And then gets that double tap. As we all know as professionals, you get that double tap from a higher up or someone, or that clarity conversation, and then you put out a statement that sounds a little different in tone. A little peculiar there. But the second layer is the fact that upstairs, you guys got called out in this conversation. And why would you get called out? Because it made no sense to anyone on the playing field. Now, let's talk about how, allegedly, 2 defensive players had to be held back from potentially putting some hands in Coach Pederson's world. All of this is just centered around lack of communication with your team. They knew who was active and not active. So why don't they know who's playing and who's not playing? Because that's something you should be privy to, especially in Week 17. And then Doug Pederson doubles down on his pathetic excuse and says this. Well, Jalen Hurts had a tight hamstring, so we knew we weren't going to play him an entire game. So you take him out in the 4th quarter with 12:35 to go, put in Nate Sudfeld, who has 2 possessions, 2 turnovers, and you lose the game? Come on, Coach. All Jason Kelce said the first time, all Miles Sanders is saying now, and what I'm saying is either say the truth, speak it, and be real, or don't say anything at all, because everything that's leaving his mouth is leaving us more confused.
You know, the reason why I don't have an issue with Miles Sanders saying what he said is because everybody's having to talk about it, right? I mean, let's be clear about it. If you didn't have to discuss it, then it's not an issue at all. But we all know that it was enough of a blunder that it needed justification. And I'm going to tell you right now, you guys know this as former players and now being in the media. When you shoot things out and you're expected to give responses to the media, you know, we just sat there and watched how Dwayne Haskins did not face the media when he had a bad game and walked out, right? So it's like if somebody asked you about what took place and it was egregious, like I don't think any of us would sit there and deny the fact that this was such an egregious situation and so poorly handled and such a blunder on Pederson's part that it had to have some level of justification. Otherwise, you leave the realm of genuineness, right? Like nobody wants to be viewed by the fan base, especially the Philly fan base, as not being genuine in what it is that you're thinking and what you're feeling. Miles Sanders is a Penn Stater. He understands that fan base very well. Keep in mind, he has an intimate relationship with them prior to being a professional. You want to mess up with Philadelphia? You played in Philadelphia, Acho. Play that I don't know card if you want to. Kelce did a great job. You know why Kelce did a great job? Because Kelce addressed it in a way where he was not putting himself in harm's way, but he was letting his fan base know that he did not agree with it. Like, let me get the rest of the linemen. Let me let them know what the snap count is so that they don't jump off sides. Translation, we were not expecting him to play. Hey, let me take these snaps with Sudfeld. Translation, we were not expecting him to play. You put him in. You talked about girlfriends earlier on, Acho. Let me give you this one before I turn it over to you guys. If I am not confident in the person that I'm taking and I'm putting in the game to be measured and weighed by the people I love the most that knew me before I knew my own self and gave me the name that I am tasked with honoring and carrying because it was given to me, not I made my name, then I have to go in with the right state of mind. First off, if we get there and she does not perform well, I have got to abort the mission. We're not, if the meal wasn't done, we're not eating the dinner. We're going to go get fast food. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to make sure if you were living in my house, you get your mail and get your stuff. And you got to pack up because it's all over. He performed so poorly, Acho. He should have been pulled out. And at the least, you should have put Jalen back in to see if you could salvage the victory of your last game.
Yeah, girl. Perform better. Perform better, girl.
Hey,
Perform better.
Sel, what you remember from that tape?
Penn State.
Miles Sanders.
So we heard Penn State. We were like,
LaVar had to say, America, in case you did not know, LaVar Arrington is a resident Penn Stater. Anytime he comes across a Penn Stater, you will hear that they are. I'm going to give it to y'all like this. I'm going to give it short. I'm going to keep it sweet. My experience, my expertise.
Okay.
One time, I think it was early on in my career, I tweeted at Tyrann Mathieu. Ty Mathieu, he came out and said, it was at the Combine. He had just finished the Combine. And he said, you can measure your speed, you can measure your height, but they can't measure your heart. You know me. I think I'm a funny guy. So I quote tweeted and I said, well, actually, Ty, that's what the EKG is for. I don't think he got the joke. Because Ty tweeted at me, and he gonna say, I hate when backups talk like starters. I said, oh, my God.
You hit him with a matrix.
I said,
you get out of
that? That one hit my heart. I remembered that because 5 years later, I'm on the show using that quote. Let me tell y'all what I also hate.
EKG.
I hate when starters talk like backups. Miles Sanders, you a starter. So how you gonna tell me, the backup, who's been in this situation before, playing in a meaningless game, because I am a backup, and that's the only reason I'm on this field is because this game is meaningless. How you gonna tell me what I liked and what I did not like? How you gonna tell me if I cared or even noticed or was even aware to care about the fact that Nate Sudfeld went in? Let me tell you what backups is worried about in the last meaningless game. They worried about not getting hurt. Because if you get hurt, you can't go home in the offseason. You got to stay in Philadelphia and rehab. They worried about, man, did my girl get all my boxes packed? Did my mama get all them boxes packed so as soon as this game is over, I can do the exit meetings and leave the next day? That's what you worried about in that last meaningless game. The last thing you worried about I got to put good tape on camera because the Eagles might not retain me next year, but somebody in the NFL needs to hire me. So I don't like when starters talk like backups, because backups is thinking completely different things besides, oh, I wonder if we're going to win this last meaningless game, which actually has no indication of our future success or my individual success, period.
Ugh, woo. Y'all are taking us deep into y'all lives, and I love it. I'm here for it. I'm not going to go any further in my life. Check Wikipedia if you want to know more about me. I ain't giving y'all all my nuggets in life. But here's the thing. I didn't like this decision in part of the moment it occurred. I'm like, that's not the best thing to do to have a competitive advantage. We all felt that. But then the consequences, the repercussions, the fact that teammates were upset, confused, wanting to fight coach took me to a different place. Now, why would you make a move like this? I say you make this same kind of move is because you want to create doubt about who Jalen Hurts is going into the offseason. You want to know why? Because 2 backups ago, the last backup before Jalen Hurts, oh, that guy just won a Super Bowl championship, gave you a good playoff run, and has a statue at the damn stadium. And that statue at the stadium reminds everyone, especially Carson Wentz, who has had his mind turned to mush and looking at this situation in Philadelphia. So maybe this was an effort to restore some confidence in Carson Wentz by saying, we're not sold on Jalen Hurts yet going forward. All that said, I'm going to give it to you in story form. When I heard these players wanted to go and throw some hands at Doug Pederson, oh, it took me back to my Dallas Cowboys days. And this is before social media, so the story wasn't out there like it should have been. But I was in practice, and I saw Bill Parcells look at Antonio Bryant, who was a beast. And Antonio Bryant got tired of practicing, especially running these 9 routes. And then he finally said, hey, we got other receivers here. And then he made the costly mistake of saying one name in particular. He said, we got Keyshawn Johnson over here. He can catch some routes, too. Now, Keyshawn was bigger than life. So Keyshawn was like, I run routes when I want to run routes. And Parcells looked at Antonio, realized, do I go at Keyshawn or do I go at Antonio? He chose Antonio. Smart decision, right? Told Antonio, run another route. Antonio stormed off, threw his jersey on the ground. Oh, did Antonio go Parcells grab that jersey. Storming after him, you know, the tuna walking sideways, coming after him. Threw it at Antonio. He hit the matrix, turned around, grabbed the jersey, threw it back at Parcells. Yeah. Team jumped in. Point being, moments like that, contention like that, everyone is looking at the coach differently and at the situation differently. It's going to be interesting to see how these Eagles respond to this going forward.